Hi there, and welcome to your 2023 Wildwood 33 TSX. We'll just start in the back bumper here where you got your sewer hose that I'll have to put in there. Just the sewer hose will have an end on it with two ears, and I'll show you in a second, but you'll just want to make sure that those two ears go to your sewer outlet. Right down the line here, we do have your standard 30 amp. And if you take that out, just pay attention to that ear there. Mashes with the one ear on the bottom there, and you just push it in there, give it an 1/8 lock, and then you got the threaded coupler to lock it down. Above that, you do have your exterior shower with hot and cold water. It's just your regular 751 key to open that. Here you have your city water connection, and beside that, you have your black tank flush. The way black tank flushes works is you'll have your sewer connected, keep your black tank open, hook up a garden hose to here, run the water through there for a few minutes, turn it off. It'll wash off anything stuck on the probes, get rid of some of that smell. You do have your coax inlet and outlet above that. Down from there is your sewer outlet. On the left is your black, on the right is your gray. You always want to empty your black first to try and, so that with the black water is from your toilets, gray water is from your sink and shower. So you just use the gray water to kind of wash out the hose a little bit, give it that extra little rinse. Just take note of these ears here. They lock into place. That same connection will be on your sewer hose. In here, you have more storage with your solar controller, and it just tells you that you can change between your battery types and your amps versus your volts. Right now, you're currently charging. In the front of the unit, you have your battery disconnect right here. With the battery disconnect on, the battery's connected. The battery disconnect off, the batteries are disconnected. You can pull that out if you were to ever want to take that with you. Leave that on. In this case, here is your battery. Under this propane tank cover, typically you just open these flaps, undo the lid, and you have access to your standard barbecue propane tanks. You just turn it clockwise to open them up. Counterclockwise, sorry. I'm just going to pull this off here for this video, because as you'll see here, you do have your regulator, but you just turn those on, and the propane will be running through your system. Around the unit here, you have your exterior. You do have your door. You have your hot water tank panel. Just lift that up and pick that up. There's this 1 16" bolt here. That's your drain, but you always want to make sure you hit the pressure relief before you take that out. Otherwise, it will blast water out and everywhere. Before you ever fire up your hot water tank, you always want to give this pressure relief valve a little click. Make sure that water pours out of there. That way you know the tank's full and you're not going to be burning out any elements. I'll go over a reset button inside in case that this doesn't ignite within the first 3 tries. The button I'm referring to is just right here. Here's your fresh water fill. You just stick your hose in there, fill it up. It'll fill your fresh water tank, which your water pump draws off of. You got standard plug. Right here is your heater exhaust. Now, be careful whatever you put in front of this, because this is an exhaust, so it blows out hot air. It will melt chairs or whatever else you would want to put in front of there. And here you have your exterior kitchen. You just turn these knobs. Comes on out with those hydraulic assists. You do have a 110 mini fridge, as well as a sink with hot and cold water. You have this nice little storage area, more storage on top with a nice little net to keep things secure. On the back side here, You do have your exterior barbecue. To open it up, there's just a little coupler pin on the other side here. You just release that, pull it out, and it'll be able to swivel. To get the cover off, it's just done up with 2 Velcro clips. Once you get those undone, the cover just comes off nicely here. And there you have your barbecue, standard barbecue. You got your igniter with your heat selection here. And you are pre-wired for a rear observation camera. And if you were to want to get a rear step ladder, you can also get that. And it's pre-mounted there for you. Now to hook up the barbecue, we do have a hose somewhere in the unit that just attaches to this little quick connect here. You pull the collar back. With this valve sideways like this, the valve's closed, closing off the flow propane, so it'll allow you to pull that collar back to connect it. This would be turning the flow propane on. With that on, you can't undo that coupler, so you always want to make sure that you turn this off whenever you're done using it. Get inside the unit here. You just have your assist handle here. You just push it up, fold 90 degrees. Door will come on open. You have your fold downstairs here. You just pull that little blue tab. Stairs come fold down. You do have adjustable feet. So depending on the campsite you're in, you can just push these knobs in and you can adjust the feet in or out depending on your campsite needs. You take a step on inside. First off, you have your fire extinguisher. That's just a standard fire extinguisher. Pull the pin, shoot. Right here, you do have your tank levels and your battery levels. So right now we're currently C for charging. You have a fresh, a gray, a black, and a gray. Turn the lights on. That would do your outside awning light, your left switch. Your right switch does your interior little strip light behind the slide out. And then you just hit this dimmer switch and it'll turn on the main lights inside. That being said, you can dim them. So you just hold the dimmer switch and it'll go lower. And then if you keep holding it, it'll go back to lighter. You have your slide out button. You just push that, hold that out, and the slide out will make its way out. Unfortunately, today we can't open up the slide all the way, but the way you'll know that your slide is fully extended is you'll hear the clicks of the motor, and that's when you know to stop pushing the button. So we'll get it out here just enough to show you what's going on inside. Right next to that, you do have your awning switch. So you just push that down to push it out. Again, we're not going to have enough room to run this awning fully out, but the way you're going to know that you're fully extended, you see that back of the metal tubing and you'll see the little flap come down, and that's when you know you're fully extended. So there's that tube. There's that flap I was talking about, and the tube will be just underneath that. If you ever wanted to adjust the pitch, just pull on this arm and it'll change the pitch of the awning. Lowering it or pushing it up will be raising it. If it's ever raining and you do want to lower one side so that water does flow off and doesn't pool up in the center. If you do like it lower because it allows more shade, you can do the same thing with the other side, but just keep in mind whenever you go to pull the awning in, you do have to fold those back up so that you don't bend anything. Now, whenever you're bringing this awning in, you just want to make sure that rolls up the right way. That way it doesn't trap any water inside. And whenever you get up to 10 to 15 kilometer an hour winds, you're going to want to bring your awning in just so that the wind doesn't pick it up and rip it off. All right, I'll finish folding that up after. Take a step inside. You do have your TV back here where the customer did opt to go with a TV mount. And here you just have storage. Here you just have a standard radio. Zone 1 is interior speakers. Zone 2 is exterior speakers. There's the power button, turns it on. Volume. mode, select, skip. It does have an HDMI port and a USB port, so you can hook up your phone and Bluetooth. Fireplace below it, power button is that far right button. The button beside that changes your flame. You can go through different flame colors. Center button changes your rock lights. And then beside that, you have your temperature selection. So you go between low and high. And then beside that, you do have a timer. So you can turn it from 30 minutes anywhere to like 9 hours, I believe. Yeah. Then you just push that button again and turn it off. Get inside the bedroom here. You have your light switch on your left, and you do also have a slide out button here. Again, we're not going to be able to do this slide fully out, but it goes the same as the big one. You're going to hear those clicks of the motor. And that's when you know you're fully extended. That's about all I'm going to want to go today. Inside here, you do have a fire exit. Simple, just pull this tab. Screen will come out, and then you just push this handle and hop on out. You got storage inside the closet, and you also have more storage. Another closet here. Above the bed, you do have a light, as well as USB plugins and regular household plugins. All the blinds in the unit just kind of sit where you leave them. So if you pull it down, it sits there, and then just to get it to go up, you just give that little tug, and it'll come on up. In here, you do have, they call it the Versa Lounge. So this section here, you can either have it as this with the dinette and the couch, or you can pull this up. There's little feet there, and the same feet will be on this side, so you can turn it into more of a lounging couch. But yeah, you just line those metal pulls up with those feet. This does fold down into a bed. To fold it back up, just pick up the foot, grab the top, kind of push it in, pops in like that. This does also fold down into a dinette bed. Just sits on you pull the legs off the table, sits on those ledges there. If you do want to make it one big bed, you also can do that. Just remove that center cushion there, and you can have it one large bed. Behind you here, you got your sink. Kitchen sink, hot and cold water, storage underneath there. Just keep in mind with your drains and water lines not to affect those too much. Storage. Got your standard microwave. Whenever you're running your stove, you do have to run your fan to evacuate the fumes, because it is a propane stove. To run the propane stove, you just set that on high, hit the igniter, just do the same thing. Sometimes it takes a second to get that air out of the line. And then you just turn them all off. The button on the stove does the lights on the knobs, and then it does a light inside the oven. Now, to run the oven, you do have to have the lights on, and to light the oven, you just turn it to a little flame mark, push the knob in, and then just grab your lighter, hit it with the lighter. Sometimes this can take a few minutes, because again, the air has to come out of the propane lines, but eventually it should hold a pilot flame. There we go. Just hold that in for another second. Now you can let it go. And then you just turn it up to your desired temperature, and it lights on up. That's your LP detector. Propane's heavier than air. It's going to sit on the ground. That'll detect it. You do have your fridge, freezer, storage underneath the benches. You do have more storage here. You have lights above the couch and the dinette. Inside the bathroom here, you got your nice shower, swivel head, hot and cold water. You have your sink, hot and cold water, medicine cabinet, toilet flusher on the right, you just hit the button there, close that on up. To get into the rear bedroom, you have to open the slide out first. Slide out button's right here, you just hold it, let it fold in, fold out. Then you open this on up, turn the light switch on your left, turns on all the lights in here. You do have a light above this bunk bed. Now this bunk bed, you can fold this bunk bed up. Underneath there is a chalkboard that the kids can write on, and then you have a couch. The couch can also be used as a bed as well. Get that to go down, just pull that little safety latch. Everything should fold down. In here is another fire exit, same thing as the other one. Pull this tab, pull the screen out. Fold this out, push it in, hop on out. On the other side here, you have these nice totes, little storage area, kids stuff, window, USB plug-in with a regular plug-in, another fire exit. The thermostat in this unit is located between the bathroom and the kitchen. So you hit that button the first time and it'll turn on just the fan going on a low speed. You hit that button again and it'll go to high. And then you get into cool high, which means the compressor is going to kick in and it's going to run full time on AC until you reach your desired temperature. Then you get into cool low, which is the same thing, just low fan. And then you get to cool low auto, which means it's an on-demand system. The compressor will kick in and out as it's needed. Same thing with the high fan on. And then you get into your heat. And then you hit it again and it'll go off. The pump and the water heater button in this unit are located on this control panel here that I showed you in the beginning. You just turn that on, it'll turn your water pump on. Or there's your water heater. So you turn that on, this light will come on at first. The system will try and ignite itself 3 times. If it doesn't go on the 3rd try, this light will stay on, and then that's when you have to go turn this off, hit the reset button, and turn it back on. And then it'll try relighting itself again. So the way you're going to know it's lighted, you're going to hear those clicks, and then you're going to hear a roar of a flame. There you go, it didn't go the first time. There you go, you heard the roar of the flame. Turn that off. That's about it for this unit here. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call.